2.0, and today we're talking about Genesis 10 in the Bible, right? So let me get over to Genesis 10. If you're new here and you're watching this video, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna actually do 10 and 11. But yeah, subscribe to the channel, and on this channel you will get plenty of videos on pretty much using the Bible in order to break down leadership lessons that you can apply to you and your team today too as well. Okay. But not only to just lead the others, but also to lead yourself and then eventually give back to your community. All right, so we're going with Genesis 10, right? First of all, Genesis 10 is about the descendants of Noah. Now, I don't like to, it's crazy. I'm not saying skip over these things because you got to know why everything is happening. But literally, it's just pretty much talking about Noah and then how it gets from Noah all the way down to, where is it now? Let me see, like Shem and all them stuff like that. And then Shem actually gets all the way down to, sorry, right here. I'm just looking at this right now. Joktan. Yeah, it's just basically just talking about the pretty much just the descendants of Noah on here. Yeah, that's really what it's talking about though. But they do have some honorable mentions on here, right? Like Genesis 10:6 talks about the sons of Ham. Cush is the ancient name for Ethiopia. Mizraim is the name for Egypt, which this is actually really important too as well, because it's crazy. There's a part later in the Bible that we're going to, get back to this part when I say this, but it says they were left in Egypt. Then it says, comma, place of captivity, because that's what Egypt means. Mizraim is actually where Egypt was originally. And this is what it's talking about right here. And then 10:7 through 11 actually talks about Nimrod. See, like Lamech, the descendants of Cain, Nimrod's infamy was proverbial. His territory was in the lands of the east, the fabled ancient cities of Mesopotamia. The prophet Micah will later use the name Nimrod to describe the region of Assyria, which would come under God's judgment, right? So it just talks about Nimrod right here. We got to talk about Eber a little bit too as well. This is the name that gives rise to the term Hebrew, which is first used of Abram in 1413. Eber descended from Shem, the sons of Noah's sons, who was appointed to carry on the messianic line. Abram was a direct descendant of Eber. So basically, like I said, 10 is just basically talking about Noah's descendants all the way down to Abram. And then 10:32, the families of the sons of Noah. Although not every ancient people group is listed on this table of nations, is clear teaching is that all the varied peoples of the earth, no matter of what land or language, are descended from Noah, pretty much, okay? So let's get into 11, right? I gotta change the title, but it's gonna go to 11, right? So this is when the universal language, we had a universal language. So at first we were all together, everybody had a language, and we loved God too as well, but we were trying to reach God. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing we have to notice, right? God is the only perfect being in the universe, or whatever you want to say, and we were trying to reach up to God. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's like those things where it's like, yo, your intentions, I get what you're trying to do. But then at the same time, it's like it's drawing, because it clearly says not to do that. But they do that. So God sees them building a tower. We start kind of coming together, start drawing. So then God makes us all confused and then separates us at this point, right? And separates the nations. Now I'm saying this has no connection to this, but this kind of reminds me of when they say how we were one big continent, and then kind of like we're one big place and we kind of just split apart and became different continents. MZ for real 2929. Hi, hey, what's going on? How you feeling? Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment anything you want below, ask any questions you want below too as well. We are going over Genesis 10 and 11. We already finished 10, we're going into 11 right now. So that's what this is about. Okay, so now starting with 11, I'm gonna start with 11:4, right? I'm gonna skip all the way down. They said, "Come, let us build a city for ourselves and a tower whose top will reach into the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves, so that we will not be scattered and be dispersed over the surface of the entire earth." Right? So this is very, very important. This is very, very important right here. Okay. Oh, I see some more people jumping in here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment anything you want below, ask any questions. We are going over Genesis 11, but this is important, right? You ever hear that saying that too much of something is actually bad? Has anyone ever heard that saying before? Too much of something is actually bad, right? Too much. So, for example, right, we know drinking water is very phenomenal. Like me, I drink like, you know, I'm getting onto this regimen too as well, me and my wife, but drinking 8 cups a day. That's good. It's like a gallon of water, half gallon, whatever it is, right? Of water. Okay. But you know, if you're swimming in, you could be swimming in clear water, but if you fall down into the water and you swallow too much water, you swallow, you drowning and you die. Right? Water is still water at the end of the day. Nothing changed about it. It's just the amount that we consumed of it. Right. So there's no, it's either good or it's bad. Like, you know what I mean? Too much of something is actually bad. Ace D man, more beggars for views. I'm not sure what you're saying, little bro, but make sure you subscribe to the channel. Um, so basically, that's all I'm going to say, right? Is unity without God is dangerous. Okay. Obviously, they were together, they were unified as a people, but there was no God involved, so it started to get bad. This is why, see, a lot of times people say, oh, you don't have to actually go to the church building or the building, right, to actually believe in God, which is true. You don't, right? You don't have to do that. But I will say this, though, being around those other people, iron sharpens iron, right? So what I mean by that, the more you try to yeah, the iron sharpens iron in the way of like, the more you're around different types of people, your environment really does shape you. I'm completely understanding of that. uh MZ, for real, I'm like this up. Oh, appreciate you. W's for you, appreciate you. um but yeah, like the more you try to that's what I want to say. Yeah, so unity without God is dangerous. That's why they say go to church, because the reason why you go into the building is because you're around other people that are pushing you to hold you responsible. I don't like accountable. I like the word responsible first. Hold you responsible in order to then be good, right? So it's not about actually going to the place and now since you're in the place, you're all of a sudden good with God. No, there is a feeling you get in there because you're around other people like yourself. You know what I mean? If I want to get better at basketball, I'm gonna play with other great basketball players. I'm not gonna play with the guys that never even touched the court with under a whistle. You see what I'm saying? So it's a matter of just being around that thing, right? Now, I like to look at this in a leadership sense because you know that's what the whole channel's about. MZ, for real, I gotta go. That's okay. I appreciate you tuning in. I'm on here every single day. Giving it. You can go through my channel. You can see all my other videos too as well. Right now, I'm doing a series on Genesis and leadership. So I appreciate you. But same thing with your team, right? If your team is together, but you guys have no clear direction, then you're putting yourself in a bad predicament. Why? Because now you guys are just freestyling, right? A bunch of guys just freestyling. This is why there's a coach on the basketball team. The coach on the basketball team is supposed to have you guys to a clear mission, have you some structure behind it, some systems, right? As we learned in Genesis 1, God moves in systems. When you're moving with your team, you have to move in systems. There's no freestyle. The more freestyling it is, the worse it is for your team because now there's no clear direction, right? Um, I hate this when I have team members who talk about how, oh, this person doesn't do this when I ask them to do this. They're just sitting around on their what type of system did you have in place for them? What details did you have for them to do when you're not there, right? It has to be some type of system in place, right? There has to be some type of direction. So that's the big thing, right? Having direction. Just because you're together, you guys could be a good culture and everything, but if you're a good culture and together and you have no direction, it's going to lead to bad things happening. Same thing with this. If you're together, we're all together, but we have no God in it. It doesn't matter what we're doing, even if we're doing something great. It's no God involved in it. This is when bad stuff like this happens, right? Um, so now I'm gonna go to 11:6, right? And the Lord said, "Behold, they are one people, and they all have the same language. This is only the beginning of what they will do. And now no evil thing they imagine they can do will be impossible for them." Right? So, um, the tower that was built in Genesis 11 was about pride, and it was without God, right? Again, unity without God is bad, but it was about pride. And yo, pride is a dangerous thing, bro. Pride is a dangerous thing. I give you an example. You know, as you guys know, especially if you look at some of my content, I like playing basketball in the morning, right? So in the morning, we be getting some good runs in, right? We get some really good runs in. We hoop. There's like there's like this guy that usually comes in there, right? I think in our chat's like 80 something people in our group me, right, to go hoop in the morning. But There's 80 something people in our group me, but not all go obviously at once. But some people moved away, whatever. But when they come back, they see the runs or whatever. So there's this one guy who apparently his wife works at the YMCA, another YMCA, and she hooked him up and told him that he can come there and basically kick us off the court to train one son. Now, first of all, I don't care what you say. You know how inconsiderate that is? If you go into a gym full of people, right, and all my hoopers here, you know if someone goes to a gym full of people and they're trying to work out their son and they're trying to do it on the court and you guys are playing full, y'all know what's probably going to happen. But I'm not going to lie. That a lot of times, just because the mere disrespect, it's probably going to lead to a fight. I ain't going to lie. Be honest with you. Or somebody, depending on where you at. Now, I tell you this one thing for certain. If this guy was doing this joint in Wilmington, like one of our other like the Y's, if he was doing this in, I don't know, Philly, if he was doing this in Baltimore, I don't know, anywhere where it's actually trenchy at, they would have knocked him out clean. But it's because we all civilized that we over here trying to have a conversation with the dude and be like, yo, man, like we usually hoop at this time. Why don't you come later on during the, or in the morning before we even get here, get your workout in, you can get out, and now we're all good, right? But this guy is like he's just a like, bro. There's a word for him. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I'm not going to go crazy on the stream or whatever with it. But his pride won't let him be like, he wants to show his son he's the big bad wolf. I don't know why, right? Now, granted, only one or two things are gonna happen. It's gonna get to a point where it's like it really get into a bad argument and someone might actually try to like really get right with him, or it's gonna lead to us just having a conversation with the. We actually talked to my wife. She advised us, look, just talk to the front desk, ask them to get a designated time. So that's something that we're gonna talk about anyway. But pride, bro, I'm telling you, bro, pride is the worst. It'll make people do things that I don't know what's up with them. They never did in their life. Now they want to do this thing, right? Yeah, pride it's a tough one, right? So now let me go to 11:7, right? It says, "Come, let us go down," and they're confused and mix up their language so that they will not understand one another's speech. Okay, so when 11:7 it says "let us," again the plural "us" is in the passage is similar to when he said "let us" in the beginning, right? This is actually talking about the Holy Spirit. I mean the Holy Spirit, the Holy Trinity, right? When he said "let us," he's talking about Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. All right. Again, another example of Jesus being present in the Old Testament. These are things that I looked over the first time, bro. I'm trying to tell you, but these Amplified Bibles really be helping, bro. I promise you. Now, I just learned on Sunday that you can't use that for everything, but it's a good resource though, for sure. So then we go 11:8, right? He says, "So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the surface of the entire earth, and they stopped building the city." This was mercy, not judgment, right? The same God that literally struck down Noah and literally just like, I'm not struck down Noah, but struck down the whole world, made the whole flood come, killed pretty much everybody, wiped out the whole planet except for a few people, and then obviously some animals. This is the same God. He could have tripped for real. He really could have like crashed out, but instead he decided to show mercy, right? Same thing with your team, right? This is why, I'm telling you. So there's this leader I got. Every time somebody does something wrong, the first thing he goes to do is try to fire them or terminate them. Bro, it cannot be like, that's not a good thing. This is the way I look at it, right? And I said the same thing about this girl one time. I was like, listen, the girl complained about, oh, these guys this guys that, these guys whatever. I can never find a boyfriend, whatever. Boom, boom. If it's always the guy, at some point in life, you have to look in the mirror and say, dang, I'm the one that keep it. What's the common denominator? It's me. So it's the same thing about this guy. I'm like, bro, it's the common denominator. It's you, bro. It's not the people, bro. They're all saying the same thing. They're all saying they don't learn nothing when they're with you. They all say that, you're never coaching them. They all say you don't know how to talk to people. You're not professional. It's at the end of the day, it's you, right? And that's where the problem comes in, right? And I was telling him, like, you can't just immediately try to go to fire every single person. Oh, this person's a clerk. Bro, if anything, your team is a reflection of yourself. And this is me too as well, right? I've been letting them get away with this for too long. So I don't know what has to happen, but it's true though. You can never, it's never always, you have to be careful. It's about having, like, you have to have some type of leeway, bro, with your team. It can't just be straight. Now, I'm not saying to be a softie, but I'm saying like, don't be crazy too as well, like to the point where you're sending like freaking paragraphs and stuff like that every single day, and you're putting too much pressure on your team to the point where, bro, you're actually pushing them away. That's when it becomes a problem. Because if no one can work with you, then that's a problem. You see what I'm saying? So that's one thing. And then God seen that diversity was the solution, right? And this is an important thing too as well. Everybody on your team shouldn't be yes men or yes women, right? It should be a mixture, right? People that you should want people to challenge you, right? Like some people, oh, they may think in a different way to you. Okay, like you, one person maybe think, like, I got one person on my team that he thinks that, you know, upgrades are the saving grace or whatever, or you know what I mean? And we know that the other thing is, right? Or another KPI is, but he continues to just be like, oh, you know, I want to do this. Now, I'm not saying that he can't do things his way, but if his way's not working, which it isn't, then that's when it's a problem. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same thing, right? Diversity. You want to have diversity on your team. You want to have different people, women, men, different races. You want to have different thought patterns. People think differently than you. You don't want everybody on your team to think exactly like you do, because then you have nobody to challenge. When now they got to be able to try. There may be there's different ways to get to 100. There's so many ways to get to 100. You can do 1 plus 99, 100 plus 0, 10 times 10, whatever it is, right? So it's the same thing. Diversity is a good thing. In 11:9, he said, therefore, the name of the city was Babel, because the Lord confused the language of the entire earth, and from the place that the Lord scattered and dispersed them from over the surface of all the earth, right? So Babel, there's a pun in this name that no Hebrew reader would miss. The verb for confuse sounds similar to the name of the city, right? Confuse, scatter. Because of their pride and arrogance, God scattered the people of the earth and confused their language. But one day, peoples of all languages and cultures will unite to celebrate the grace of God's rising sun, lifting their voices together in the praise of the Lamb. So later on, you know, we all come back together, but God scatters. Yeah, and that's crazy because, you know, when someone's talking about, oh, they babbling or whatever, right? That's funny because it actually comes from this though, right? So Babel, confusion, that was the whole point. He confused everybody, right? Now it kind of goes back into the descendants of Shem, right? So, you know, 11:10 to 25 is basically about the generations. This genealogy shows that Abraham was a descendant of Noah through Shem, such as Noah was a descendant of Adam through Seth. It is interesting to note that while the people mentioned in this genealogy lived to be very old, they did not reach the great ages of people before the flood. Instead, their lives appear to be growing progressively shorter. So as time started to go on, people started to live less and less. Could have been food, diet, God, obviously, whatever his choice was, right? Now, in 27, it says, now there are the records of the descendants of Terah. Terah was the father of Abram, right? So now we got from Noah, we got all the way down to Abram, okay? So this is another person that has eventually is going to have a covenant with God, and we're going to talk about that in the next episode, but dang near, right? The next stream tomorrow, right? And then to finish it off, Sarai, right? 11:29. The name Sarai means princess, implying a person of noble birth. Later, we learned that Sarai was Abram's half sister. Okay, so that's what we got so far from Genesis 11 and 10, man. A lot of stuff to unpack. You got the descendants of Noah. You got people getting confused with Babel because they want to build a tower and start, you know, being crazy or whatever. But God made a promise with the rainbow that he wasn't going to start crashing out no more, starting to flood and killing everybody. But that's how I got it though, right? So thank you for tuning in to this, man. Tune in tomorrow or watch the next video about Genesis, and again, pulling leadership lessons from it. Again, subscribe to the channel. We on here every single day. Goal is 5,000 YouTube subscribers by the end of 2026. And of course, I want to keep giving you this good content on the Bible. That's all I have for you guys, man. Keep killing the day. 2.0 out.